Jurassic Park. Now playing at theaters.
Ecto goggles with Ecto Bomber, neutron blaster, and water zapper, each sold separately.
From the corner penthouse of Spook Central all the way to Star Killer Base, this is Yes Have Some Podcast.
Do I? Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
You know, they told me you people were conceited douchebags.
The only place in the multiverse where you can love the book, hate the movie, but still buy all the toys.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a Jedi Master.
What?
Please remember to hold on to your butts and get ready to get stressed. With your hosts, Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, and Jacob Walsh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I am here with my co-hosts. I'm about to throw a loop for you guys. Throw you through a loop. I'm about to throw you through a hoop is what I'm going to do. Jacob Walsh.
Hey!
I went to Jake first. I never do that.
I just got upset. I need to be the second introduction.
All right. Abigail Gardner, how are you?
You are the second introduction.
No.
Oh.
I don't want to be third.
You're third one now.
I'm not third one.
Jake
You're
is
third.
firmly moved into
I'm tired
second
of being
one.
third one.
There is no third one in Yes Have Some Podcast.
No, there is.
We're all first.
There is tonight, and it's Abby.
No, I'm
There
a
is tonight, and it's
homeowner,
Abigail
Jake.
Gardner.
I just bought a house.
You did. Congratulations.
By
Oh.
myself. Greg's not going to live here.
Congratulations.
Jake, you can't stay over. He's the third one now.
Nope. A lot of papers. It's good, though.
Oh, the paper signing and the waiting. Anytime you're going to spend money, they're like, you want to think about it for a little while?
So we bought the house we already live in, and which is cool. Jake was asking if we were excited. No, actually, he didn't ask that. I just volunteered the information. I was like, I'm
Sure.
excited. But people keep, when you buy a new house, it's new. We already live here. And my main reason for wanting to buy the house is I've already put so many holes in the wall. I don't want to have to patch them all up.
Huh.
So I just bought it.
And you've built so many detops that you don't want to have to take down and move and break.
You just don't want to move.
I like the idea.
Legitimately.
I built so many detovs in this house that I will not move.
There's no holes in the wall, by the way.
There's like
All
for posters
from
and
all
prints
the
and-
nails putting
Okay.
the frames up and stuff.
Oh, you're
Dude,
right.
there's so many holes from when I punched the wall. I get so mad.
Phone holes. That's our old house.
Phone holes?
You know where you throw your phone through the wall and it leaves a phone hole? You don't have one of those?
Like a
You
phone.
guys,
that
you
you
guys
have a
don't deal
name
with
for it.
those?
A lot of this house is in pretty good condition. It's just like 3 to 7 phone holes in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about those. I wouldn't
No
worry
big
about those
deal.
phone holes.
You
ET's
just put a-
phone hole.
What is this?
Alright.
An iPhone 7?
Oh,
There's a Samsung
man.
over here.
Oh,
Jake's
man.
going to put a hole in the ocean.
Yeah. That's for another time.
Didn't you throw
What?
with your phone?
Oh,
In the
yeah, I
ocean.
did.
We've all thrown phones.
That's nice. That's like a movie moment.
Yeah, we've all.
Yeah, but then the ocean, much like in Moana, the ocean like brought the phone back.
Oh.
I wish I had the voice to sing that song right now.
It's fine.
Okay.
Well, listen, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are back from New York City. We had an unbelievable trip. Thanks for everybody who tuned in to all of our coverage of Toy Fair on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. It was a lot. It was stressful.
It was constant.
It was a
It was
lot.
a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
A lot of work, a lot of fun. Met a lot of cool people. Spent time with people that are near and dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm. Some of my favorite people.
Some of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Mostly you guys. But other people. Met Justin from Bandai. I like that guy.
Oh, Uncle Justin.
Uncle
Uncle
Justin.
Justin.
Who
Yeah.
will quickly
He's a
remind
cool
you,
dude.
he's not the creepy uncle.
Yeah.
He's the cool uncle.
It's usually the creepy uncle
He's the
who
fun
has to
uncle.
clarify, though.
But I like that about him.
All right, I'm not creepy.
Yeah, not the creepy kind. I was like, I wasn't thinking that, but now I am.
No, Justin, he was
Fun
the,
uncle.
he was the rep from Bandai, and it's great to see Jake take a tour of a booth full of Godzilla toys. It's
Yeah.
it's like seeing, I don't know, it's like seeing a leprechaun
Find his gold and count it.
in shine shoes.
Yeah,
That's basically what it's like.
it was special.
It was really great. Hey, you know what? There was a lot of Godzilla stuff at Toy Fair.
Yeah.
We put up a whole video about it, but I think there was more than I was expecting.
There was more than what's in the video as well.
And
Like,
also-
I didn't get it all.
They didn't even have the new stuff out. Like Playmates had nothing on display for the Kong vs. Godzilla line, and they still had a ton of Godzilla stuff. So good time
I'm surprised
to be
by it. I'm surprised they didn't have those out, especially since they were at another toy show a couple months back. I saw a lot of people in the Godzilla community like asking about it, like, "Hey, were the Kong toys out?" And yeah, we talked to Playmates, and they were like, "We don't have it.
Hey,
it's not here."
You know what's funny? She was like, "I could take you guys in and prove it." Like,
yeah,
It's like, show us
which
nothing.
for some reason, we were just like, "No, we believe you," instead of being like, "Yeah, let's go in there."
Do we should have been in there?
Like,
I regret
we can see
not
the
going
other stuff.
in any. Well, I hated being barred from certain places, like Mattel. It's hard not to.
yeah, there's some weird stuff
Yeah.
at Toy Fair. Was that?
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know, not to get us off like Toy Fair news, but
Mhm.
I don't know if you saw like speaking of the Godzilla versus Kong stuff, there was an advanced screening,
All right.
and all of the reviews are very, very positive,
Oh, that's good.
and people are saying that it's the best movie in the like MonsterVerse so far. And,
Okay.
it's also clocking in at under 2 hours, and people are like, "That's a good thing." It's like they're saying it's like nice and tight, and
Okay.
we'll see. It's a test screening, but that's good news.
Yeah. I mean, you want that movie to be great. Like, here's the thing. I like all those movies. Like, both Godzillas are great. King
They're
Kong is
great.
great.
Yeah.
Keep making them. They're not going to, though. This is the last one, but keep making them.
No, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah.
I want to see, like, Mothra has to move in with, like, a family and, like, work at Burger King. I want to see that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Mothra's kind of high
Fry
maintenance.
cooked Mothra.
It'd be hard for her to work at Burger King.
I want to see Mothra. You know, she's just an everyday woman, and I want to see how she tackles the world of 2020 as a woman, underpaid, underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Single mom.
She's supposed to be a newswoman.
Yeah, it's just Anchorman.
Yeah, basically.
You're not going to be Anchor. You're a moth, for God's sake.
I'm Mothra.
So yeah, cool. So a lot of Godzilla stuff, and if you didn't tune in, we did we weren't gonna do a very in depth. We kind of wanted to do like an update episode while we were there, but we ended up going for over an hour, where we covered all the Ghostbusters stuff and all of the NECA booth, which were our kind of the main attractions of Toy Fair. But the one thing that did happen since then is that the real Ghostbusters Kenner Classic figures that were supposed to go up for pre-order the day of Toy Fair that Saturday at 4:00 and never did. The Walmart exclusives, they did go up for pre-order. And it was like Ghostbusters collectors are insane.
Yeah.
But it was really
When
crazy.
it happened, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, I think, Craig, you were in the shower.
Nope.
It was the other way around. Either way, they were shouting back and forth when it happened.
Jake was in the shower.
Jake was in the shower and you started shouting
We're
at
in the
him.
hotel.
No, you were in the shower.
Yeah, see?
No, I wasn't.
I was
You
right.
were in the shower.
You were in the
Yes,
shower.
you were, Craig.
And Jake
You were
started
in-
shouting.
But here's
You were
the
in
thing.
the shower because you were
That's one talk.
talking in our group, and you said at some point, "I'm literally in the shower."
Yeah.
I know, but here's the thing.
So I was right, and so was Jake.
There were two showers.
There were two chefs.
Jake and I were in the shower.
Okay.
Now I never showered.
The
Whole
fact
time.
is, it was such urgent news that you wanted to interrupt someone's shower, which you don't normally do.
There was no shower barge, and I'll tell you why. I've done a shower barge. Don't get me wrong, but
We like
Jake
to
was in the
respect
shower
people's
when
space.
they went on sale. Jake was in the shower, and I was gonna go tell him, but instead I ordered all mine first because I wanted to make sure I got it.
You secured yours first.
Yeah, and then
It's like
and
getting
then
the
while
juju
you were
fruits.
in the shower, I
Jake-
wasn't gonna order them.
Yeah, Jake.
I was just gonna pick them up when they came out. But
You got caught up in it.
what? Yeah, I got caught. I wasn't gonna pre-order them, but then like everybody in our group was trying to pre-order them, and you had pre-ordered, and then you were in the shower, and I like saw somebody post the link, and I clicked on it, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll order these, and I was like yelling at you, and I was like,
Craig!
Craig, do they take the money now?
That's exactly. Thank you for
And you didn't
refresh-
answer, so I just bought them.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know if they took the money now, but I bought two of all of them.
I don't either.
Who cares? They're
I
not
like-
expensive. They're $15 a piece. It's great actually.
Yeah, that was like a fun extension of Toy Fair because it was over. But
My
got to go
favorite was
spend money.
our old friend.
What
Something's
was
happening in the other room.
Check it-
No, just go check out the cats. I'll tell the
There
story.
was a loud noise.
Bobby 80s, who we've had on the podcast before, and like, he's a hardcore collector. He's also extremely opinionated, and as soon as they released the new figures, he was like, "I don't like these. Fuck these things." It's lazy. You know, he wasn't happy about it. And then he bought them all too.
I love that. I love that because I feel like I've gone through that kind of thing before. I was like, these are dumb, not buying them. Then I'm like, I own them all.
Yeah. It's a very relatable thing.
But it's your right to complain about it.
What is more powerful, our opinions or our fear of missing out?
That's a really good. That should be a bonus episode.
Right. So yeah, Real Ghostbusters. Now here's the bad news: they're sold out. I actually do think that Slimer and Stay Puft are still available. But here's the thing: for anybody who is wondering, I've dealt with a lot of store exclusives and pre-orders with Walmart before. This is how it's going to go. They're going to keep coming back in stock and selling out immediately for the next several months until they're released. More than likely, there'll be plenty. Like, if you didn't get them, you're going to be able to get them. These are not a limited edition. I mean, it's probably limited time, but you're going to be able to get them if you want them. So just be patient. We all know what I went through with the Jabba Palace.
Yeah.
Where I almost stole it at one point. Like, I was going nuts.
Talk about fear of missing out.
I was like, well,
I could just take this.
Like, I couldn't wait the 3 days till the street day hit. So I was like, I have an idea. I'll steal it. I'll rob it. No, I would never do that. But no, I was going insane trying to find that thing. But yeah, there'll be plenty available.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really exciting. The complete first wave of Real Ghostbusters figures being re-released. And I think this counts as, like, you know, the hardcore collectors, the Bobby 80s, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Ghostbusters of the world. By the way, these are Instagram handles. These are not their birth names. I don't think so, at least. It would be cool if that guy's name, just by chance, was Teenage Mutant Ninja Ghostbuster.
Mm-hmm.
We get some stories going on?
Yeah, I put my stories up on Instagram to try to refresh my memory of
it. Looks like a little screensaver.
Yeah, it's fun.
But
you should do it.
But you know, so a lot of people, when they talk about Kenner or the original figures, you know, when the figures came out, even there's different packaging variants. So there's like one with yellow text and one with white text and one where there's a certain image and one that doesn't have. This almost counts as like another variation of the original release. I think that's so for the hardcore collectors who have to get every variant, you got to get them all.
Yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Very excited. And just a note, Hasbro Pulse, Amazon, Walmart, all these sites have all of the new Plasma Series figures up for pre-sale. None of the kid-focused stuff, the role-play toys or the Fright Features figures, the Munchers, the Ghost. You know what is the most underrated thing from Toy Fair that we didn't really spend enough time on? The squishy ghosts that have the mini ghosts inside them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a throwback.
Mm-hmm.
They look good too.
Tell me what, like, because there's like 10 little mini ghosts. It's almost like the old ectoplasm ghosts.
Yeah, and one of them's like they're also like one of them is Sam Hain. One of them is a toaster. Like it's very cool stuff. I think I said before, like one of the coolest toys from the Answer the Call series was the Slimer. You know, that you could squeeze the goo out of him.
Right.
And these are very similar to that.
Goo. So yeah, lots of great stuff from Hasbro. And we did go back to the NECA booth our second day at Toy Fair, and it was all the same stuff.
Yeah, we kept going back.
I just wanted to look at everything. I mean, it's just it's great. I don't even know.
I just wanted to curl up and get inside of that Gremlins display. Like the bar scene, I wanted to shrink down and just crawl in the back and just like lay down and take a nap in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that we can make that happen. Maybe like
it's reasonable. It's reasonable.
I would probably start cleaning up the bar and like mop the floor, get the popcorn.
No, that's going to be the next Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Is going to be a TJ _Gremlin _guys Instagram page. And there's just going to be a bunch of no, but yeah, shout out to NECA. We're going to be talking about those NECA figures a lot. The Turtles in Time figures are coming in soon. I did find out that the Baxter Stockman and Splinter are going to be a 2-pack. So when we got back from New York, we're going to kind of skip around. We're going to cover our whole trip here. So I have the NECA animated Splinter and Krang figures were originally released in different sets, but now they're a 2-pack. My Krang's I don't even know what it is. It's like the Oh, what do you call that thing? The thing he sits in, his
Bassinet.
his containment unit. I don't know. His little thing.
His legs.
Yeah. His Craig's legs. I think he. By the way, Meatwad.
That was not bad.
Total Krang.
Yeah.
ripoff.
Oh yeah. You're right.
It broke a while back. So when that Tupac.
All right. Timestamp?
No, I've always called Tupacs Tupacs. You could say
So
it
when
either
those
way.
Out of
Tupacs
respect.
dropped,
When that Tupac dropped,
Cool. That's a new Yes Have Something.
oh my god, is it a single or is it a Tupac? West Coast.
West Coast.
The 2-pack is out with Shredder and Krang, and I needed a new Krang because I needed a new bassinet, as Abby called it.
Isn't that what Baby Yoda's in?
Yeah. So I immediately went to Target like the day. I like went out. I was like, I gotta run some errands. Jake was still at our house. I was like, I might go to Target. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I was clearly guys. I'm buying that fucking
Going to
2-pack.
Target.
So I bought it. I found it immediately, and I
Oh my
brought it
God.
back, and I took the Krang, and I gifted the Shredder to Jake.
Oh, that's
Yes.
so nice.
Yeah.
thank you. I
With-
appreciate it.
Okay.
Jake, there was a stipulation, I believe.
There, there was a stipulation that
Tell
I
us the
had
stipulation.
to continue buying them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you have to
Well, I was like, well, now I need the Krang.
It's a gateway shredder.
get with
Should
Shredder.
I go
Gateway
also
Shredder.
buy the 2-pack and then gift my Shredder to somebody? Like, just keep it going.
Shredder it?
Yeah. Shredder it forward.
Oh my god.
Shred it forward.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that takes us to our next segment. That's right. It's the 2020 charitable event, YHS Shred It Forward.
Okay. You buy a 2-pack.
You
Fine,
shred it
friend.
forward.
You shred it forward. You tell them you have to keep buying.
Hey, you know what sucks though? If you don't have Shredder and you have to shred it forward, then you just don't have a Shredder.
Oh.
So,
You gotta buy two.
so
2-pack.
yeah, it was great. I'm excited. Very excited about all those toys. But let's move on to the rest of the trip. I mean, God, I don't even know where to start. I guess we should start talking about.
Start at the beginning.
We'll start at the beginning. All right. 8 a.m. I'm on an airplane, drunk. Should we talk about how I drink now before before I fly?
It's cool. It
It's
works
funny
for
because
you.
like we're sitting at the airport. The three of us are in our, you're there for like 2 hours before the plane boards. We're sitting in the chairs, just like browsing on our phones. It's like, I don't know, 5 minutes before the plane gets ready to board. I look up and you two are both just gone.
We left.
And I'm like, oh, okay, they're gone.
Yeah.
And on both, the way there and the way back, I had to text you guys and be like, hey, the plane's boarding. What I did not realize is that you're off just getting boozed.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't.
Well,
You thought I was just having like a little pre-flight panic
one
attack.
of you wasn't.
Here's the thing.
No, it was chill.
Jake, we've
I
flown.
like flying.
We've flown a lot together. I'm not a great flyer. Would you say I did better this time all around?
I thought you were fine both times. There was one time on the way back where I almost stopped what I was doing to ask if you were okay because you did not look fine. But
What did I look
Yeah,
like?
Yeah, what were you watching?
dude, I don't know. You were like you kind of like were looking down. You kind of like you were like you just looked a little panicky. You were like you looked like you were gonna throw up or something.
No, I was fine. Hey, by the way, you know what's a really annoying thing I do on the plane? When the people next to me are watching movies, I keep interrupting them to ask them if the movie's good.
Is it good?
You kept looking at me and doing like a
Like
a
thumbs
thumbs
up.
up, like, oh,
Hey.
is it good? And every time I was like, no, it's not.
I just want to make sure you're
asked
enjoying
me
yourself.
If Charlie's Angels was good like 5 or 6 times throughout the flight, I was like, yeah.
Abby, we
Still
watched
not-
I think on the way home, me and Abby probably watched the 2 worst movies we could have picked.
Yeah, I was like, it's still not good. It's still just okay.
Still not good. You watched.
What I said to you was I'm getting answer the call vibes from
You watched Charlie's
Charlie's
Angels.
Angels. Mhm.
Jake, you watched what? Zombieland 2.
Zombieland 2, yeah.
It's a big Sony row.
Yeah. Big Sony
This
fan.
is the Sony row.
Yeah. I didn't have high expectations for Charlie's Angels, but it was something that I
Yeah.
like kind of wanted to see. I used to watch the TV show and I remember really
Right.
liking the movie. So
Well, all right. Okay, cool. So New York, we did a lot. Let's focus on the stuff people care about.
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels.
This is my review of Charlie's Angels for the next hour and a half.
All right.
JK.
Well, I think our first night there, we were just kind of hanging out, walking around and everything. But the next morning, we immediately decided to try to hit some filming locations.
Yeah. So Friday we went to the Firehouse. It was my first time there. Abby, it was your first time.
Yep.
So it's in Tribeca. We took a lift over there. It took us about 15, 20 minutes.
It was the coldest day of the trip.
Cold. It was definitely cold.
Yeah, for sure.
You listen. We put up a video that pretty much captures the essence of what was going on over there. It's on YouTube. Check it out. It's on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's great. Like I kind of knew what to expect. I'm pretty familiar with what the Firehouse looks like, but it's kind of cool because it's
so screen accurate.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It's like it actually knows because some locations we went to the Raise a Cult exterior, and it's so hard to figure out which building it was. Yeah, so it's kind of nice to be like, oh, this is pristine, and it's just like it was in the movie, and it looks like a lot of my like play sets, and it's kind of tight.
Yeah, it was great.
It's also like pretty empty over there. Like there's not a lot of people walking around. The streets are pretty empty. We had a couple people, coming through taking pictures, but it's like a pretty non-busy section of town, and you can kind of hang out as long as you want. And it looks exactly the same.
We had a really nice day. We were able to get some really good pictures and video. But yeah, it's really, as a Ghostbusters fan, obviously it's like a holy grail of locations, but just in general, it's like one of the most famous film locations in the world. There was a lot of people there. There was families coming through. There was one family that all had Ghostbusters logos like drawn on paper and taped to their shoulders.
Yeah.
For some reason, but it was great, and I'm happy for them. We kind of kept making that every time somebody else was taking a picture. In my head, I'm like, "Do you even know? Do you even know what you're doing? Do you even know what movie this is from?" Dude, by the way, I get really mad when people are like, "Oh, did you get to go inside?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "But that's not the inside from the movie."
Yeah,
moron.
Yeah, unless you're just a Firehouse fan.
Yeah, unless you just want to see what the inside of Firehouse. But it was cool while we were there. They were out and about, and the fire truck came back, so we did get to go inside. We got to talk to them about pins and patches. The Ghostbusters 2 sign is still in the hanging up, and I cannot imagine a more perfect visit to that location. Like I don't think we could have done it any better.
No, if you watch the video on YouTube, we were outside. Like I was complaining about how we couldn't get inside, and then they pulled up, and it was like it was kind of magical. Actually, they went in, and we were able to go in, so it worked out well.
Yeah, and Jake, you'd been there before.
Yeah, I'd been there once before, and I remembered kind of being I think I even told you guys like. Because we rang the little bell when we got there. There was no one else around, and we were like, let's see if we can get in here. We rang a bell. There was nobody there, but we knew you could see that the fire truck was gone. And my experience from the last time I was there, I just hung out until the fire truck came back, and when they came back, people were outside, and they were like, cool, so you can come in, take a picture, whatever. So we basically just did that.
Yeah, it was basically like we got one. It's basically like that. That was basically me the whole time.
Yeah.
Man, fucking awesome though, man. It's really big. Like, a lot of times you see stuff in person, oh, it's not as big as I'm like, oh, this is as big as I want it to be. This is a very big, beautiful building. And like Jake said, like, there's not a whole lot going on in that area. There's a little coffee shop around the corner. We kind of hung out for a while, took a little break.
Yeah. They gave us free bread pudding.
Yeah. Shout out
for being
to them.
cool. They said I had a cool jacket on.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
You did.
Thank you.
But yeah, so getting to take pictures in front of that location, and it got me thinking though. I know a lot of people keep wondering about the new movie about Afterlife. How it primarily takes place in Oklahoma. Oh, by the way, we haven't talked about how much of an asshole I sounded.
You sounded so uninformed.
Oh my god!
Can we share the story?
Well,
not the details.
Well, we got to we hung out in New York, and we met up with Eric from Ghost Corps, and we were spent a little little coffee break together. It was fun. We had a great time, and we took high tea. We took high tea in New York City. But we
wrongly, I must add.
Like, it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not.
No. Eric is great, and everybody in the Sony camp in Ghost Corps camp is just fucking awesome. Anyways, we're all talking shop, we're talking Ghostbusters, talking the community, and at one point I mentioned how the new movie takes place in Ohio. So I'm an asshole. And I was immediately corrected, not by you two. Eric was like, Oklahoma. I was like,
fuck. I'm just going to leave.
And then, of course, I was like, oh, yeah, well, we've been talking about Ohio a lot lately. And
follow up.
I wish I would have been like, no, we haven't.
No, we have not, Dad.
We've never talked about Ohio.
You're wrong, Dad.
No, it was great.
That was a good time. That was a fun
good.
little,
it was really nice.
Fun little tea time.
Yeah, nice hang.
We took high tea. Felt like Meghan Markle. She's like a princess or something.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I
like saying Meghan Markle.
Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna lose.
It takes place in Oklahoma. What I'm saying is, do we think the firehouse will be featured in the new movie at all? I don't think it will be.
I don't either. I mean, I think I'm thinking maybe we'll get a flashback or something where you'll see it, but I don't think it's going to be a major thing.
Like in the beginning when they're like 30 years ago for scientists.
Yeah, maybe.
Better stuff.
I feel like we could see it. I mean, I think it's something, it doesn't have to be included, but
I think we will see it, but I don't think much of the movie is going to be taking place there.
Yeah.
Right. And they've got they've talked about how Jason Reitman has talked about how they've gone through all the archive footage. There could have been a lot of exterior shots they were able to repurpose for the new movie. You never know. They also could have rebuilt the inside as a set like they did for Answer the Call. So wait and see. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to say other than it's awesome. It's just I would recommend any Ghostbusters fan make the pilgrimage to that location and just hang out for an hour.
Yeah.
It's great.
Enjoy it.
Where did we go after that? Did we go to the library next?
We went to the
New York Public Library.
That's where we went.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a sighting there.
Yeah.
Can we
complain about the decorations on the outside?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. As soon as we pulled up, or I think we got out of the car like right around the corner, and we're walking up, and it hit me all at once, and I realized that the Lions, they're doing this, they're doing like a promotion right now at the library where they have these like big fake books set in front of the lion statues. So it kind of looks like they are reading books.
Yeah.
And oh, that's kind of cute, but also ruins your photo and ruins you trying to get like the picture from the movie because there's these big fucking books in the way and you can't even see like the lion's face. I was slightly annoyed, but it was fun.
Right now, the replica facade at Universal Studios is more screen accurate than the actual library.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a picture in our story on YHS so people can
that'll be good.
upset about it as well.
But man, I've never been to that library. It's just an incredible building, and we were able to go.
First of all, it's for a reading campaign. It's like #love. I love that we're upset that the library
Jake's like they're
doing some dumb advertising. Not Ghostbusters stuff.
It's not even. They're not celebrating 125.
This should say Ghostbusters.
125 years of symmetrical book stacking. It's not even anything cool.
It's not even cool.
But we did. So if you're not familiar, obviously the outside exterior shots were filmed at that library. The basement shots were all filmed in Los Angeles. But the first scene where Peter and Ray walk in. And we see Egon under the table with the stethoscope. That was filmed in the Rose Room, which I believe is on the 3rd floor. Essentially, a magnificent open area where everybody is intensely studying, probably for their thesis, working on their research.
Quiet, yes. Pensive.
Extremely quiet. Pensive, that's a good word. And then the three of us running around taking pictures.
Hey, do the one that you did of Jake, but with me.
Like just going up to strangers like, Egon. Did I do it? Was it from the movie?
Yeah, I posted my picture. I'm sure that if you follow me, you've seen it. I did the Egon like listening to the table with a stethoscope, but it was the exact table. There was a guy sitting at the edge, like
he looked
right
so
where
happy
I
to
was
be in your
crouching,
picture.
so close to him. Yeah, and I zoomed in on the picture, and he looks very upset. It's my favorite picture from the trip. Jake, you took it, so thank you.
Oh, good.
I wish I would have went up behind somebody and like slammed a book right behind them.
Dude,
I love that.
It's what we should have done.
Inappropriate urges to do things like that in libraries because it's quiet and you're not supposed to.
Real quick, while we're talking about that scene, the look on Harold Ramis's face when he hears Egon coming through the stethoscope and it's just Bill Murray is it might be the funniest part of the movie. Like right off the bat, it's just so hilarious. Like he's like, "What? They know my name. Oh, it's you." That was amazing, man. I again can't recommend that location enough. Even if you're not a Ghostbusters fan, that's just a cool landmark. It's a huge building. It's been there probably
if you like architecture,
125
books,
years according to the signs. Yeah, it was great. And we really lucked out because there's been times where people have gone and that room has been closed. And obviously the firehouse was under renovations for a couple years. There was a long time where you couldn't even see it. So it was great, man. How cool was that?
So cool.
100% cool.
Pigeons. I got a sandwich. I donated $1. It was nice. I had a really good time.
I've got video of Jake chasing a pigeon.
We also in the in one of the gift shops, they had they had some cool stuff in the gift shops, and we were looking at all the they had like statues of the lions in there.
Yeah.
And did you talk about the chair that you almost bought?
Oh, so
remove the chair.
Or did you get one? Did you get one?
No. So they do have the little statues of the lions you can buy, and they kind of go in like they got teeny tiny ones that are like magnets, and then they go up to where they've got two really nice bookends. They're $125. I probably would have bought them. What stopped me is that they're very heavy, and I didn't want to have to. You could probably order them online or something.
Mm-hmm.
They do have little, almost like dollhouse size replicas of the chairs from the Rose Room, which is the room we were just talking about where they filmed the scene. Mm-hmm. And they're beautiful and they're really well done and very well crafted. And I was like, I'm going to get this. This counts as a Ghostbusters toy. It's a chair from Ghostbusters.
Basically,
yeah.
I was like, I'm going to buy 100 of them at $40 a pop. Then I looked up close-up pictures from the scene. At some points, apparently, in the last 35 years, they decided to update the chairs.
And is that the updated chair?
It's the update. They don't sell the old chair.
Nobody wants the updated chair. Someone should
what if I
tell
went to
them
the
that.
front? It's like some like part-time college
Remove
student.
the chair.
I'm like, hi. I noticed that you sell these chairs. Do you happen to have
an older one?
Do you have the ones from Ghostbusters? They're a little bit different.
We should call them.
And do that.
Just do it like a lot, like we did with the Sears.
There's no way there's like a directory when you call the library that like puts you in touch with the gift shop.
I bet there is.
I don't know, maybe. Why
let's
not?
call.
Let's reenact it.
Ask for the gift shop.
Let's do one of our reenactments.
Hello,
Here we
New
go.
York Public Library.
I haven't even called yet.
Well, I answered. Hello, New York Public Library.
Hi, I am looking for the gift shop.
This is the gift shop.
I don't think it is. There's no way that the number on Google would just lead to the gift shop.
You actually called the gift shop. How can I help you?
I'm looking for the chairs from Ghostbusters. All right, we're done.
Yeah.
The best part of that was my old time. That's fun. That's gonna be fun to listen. It's like
that.
ASMR.
It's
all right.
nice.
Yeah.
But that was it. That was about it for the library. It was great. It was fantastic.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. So listen, we're about to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we doing it?
Yeah, we're doing
Is
it.
this it?
We got to get to it.
Yeah.
We're getting.
Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
This might be the rest
Get
of the
warmed up.
This might be the rest of the episode.
Therapy.
Okay.
You guys are my therapist now.
Before we do that, I do want to tell you about Yes Have Some on Patreon. We very much love our Patreon community. So if you want to get in on bonus content, bonus episodes every month, $5 down and $5 a month gets you complete access to the Patreon for Yes Have Some podcast. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/yeshavesome. You can sign up and immediately get access to every bonus episode we've ever done. The last one we did was a full breakdown of the Super Mario Brothers movie, and more stuff is coming. We really, really appreciate everybody's support. It helps us keep the lights on, as they say, pay for the hosting, pay for the podcast, and all of that stuff. So we have a lot of fun. We've got some fun bonus stuff coming up for March and April. But if you want to get in on it, you're just going to head over to patreon.com/yeshavesome. And this story that we are about to tell is brought to you by Yes Have Some Group Therapy, the official Facebook discussion group of Yes Have Some Podcast. Abigail, let them know how they can get involved.
It's so easy, Craig. All you have to do is log into Facebook and search for Yes Have Some Podcast Group Therapy. You will find our closed group and you will ask to join. Neither myself, Craig, or Jake will accept you. It's a fantastic group where you can post about...
Or Ryan Dole. He's an admin.
Actually, yeah, Ryan might accept you, and he might complain or delete one of your posts if it's not appropriate. If it's a meme, we don't want it. But if it's original content that relates to our podcast, if you're stressing about toys, toy fair, or how your wallet's going to hurt and be really mad at you, you can come to group therapy and talk about it.
There's a lot of mad wallets out there.
There's a lot of brooding wallets.
That seemed to be the thing I read most over Toy Fair weekend. My wallet's going to be mad at me. Like, I like the idea of all the wallets getting together and like a wallet uprising, similar to Braveheart.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not purchase these toys. You know that line, that good line from Braveheart?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. None shall purchase.
We have a lot of fun. I love group therapy.
Cool.
It's my favorite part of Yes Have Some Podcast.
If you want to complain about inaccurate quotes, go to group therapy.
I've got nothing but inaccurate quotes
Mine
in
are
my
the
quote
furthest from
arsenal.
accurate.
All right, cool. So we're about to tell a story about Jagged Little Pill. It is a musical based on the music of Alanis Morissette. We talked about going to a show. We decided to take on a Broadway show leading up to the trip. I believe this is how I'm going to let everybody in on a little secret. This is how a Yes Have Some discussion goes when it's time to discuss what we're going to do. I immediately withdraw any opinion about any of it because I know I'm not going to get my way. That's why they call me...
What?
Hey.
Cookie Craig?
Hey.
That's not true.
Cool. Well, I'll always be waving to everybody from the middle seat of the plane. Just to let everybody know.
Hey, hold on, though. I asked you guys who wants to sit where.
And I said,
I gave you the option of sitting wherever you
Craig
want.
didn't
I
want
was
the
in
window,
front.
I want to sit with I want to be the
middle.
co-pilot. I'm just kidding. No. I really did not. I was pretty apathetic when it came. I just wanted to go to a show, whether that was Little Shop of Horrors, Book of Mormon, Alexander Hamilton. I knew we weren't going to that. I don't know what would have to happen for that to happen. If the three of us are ever in Hamilton, something went wrong.
We were trying to decide between Little Shop of Horrors and
Book of Mormon,
Jagged Little Pill. And there was part of me that was thinking, oh, well, we're going to see Alanis Morissette soon, so like I don't want to get overkill. And like I think there was part of me that thought that. But I couldn't have been more wrong because after seeing Jagged Little Pill, I'm even more stoked for the show and feel further invested.
Yeah. So let's talk about this before we get into the story of all stories. Jagged Little Pill was an incredible musical. It was really well done, way better than it has any business being. Well acted, the songs are great, cast was great. Jake, you got a lot of musicals. I think it had
business being good. Diablo Cody, you've got like really good source material with Alanis Morissette.
But traditionally, what they call a jukebox musical, where you're adapting songs that already exist, they can be a little bit
corny.
Like, a lot of times they don't they don't come out great. And I had read a couple articles that had said that like, oh, Jagged Little Pill has finally the musical that kind of breaks that jukebox musical thing. I was thinking kind of like going into it, I really like that was my top choice of the three. I really want to see it. Big Alanis fan, but I also like I had listened to the soundtrack a couple times ahead of time. I had seen a few like performances, on YouTube, and some of it looked a little like corny, and I was like, oh man, this looks like it might not be great, but I'm gonna just like it because it's Alanis songs. But then like, and this is something that we talked about, it's because you're seeing all that stuff like out of context,
right? And
it comes across completely different than when you sit down and watch the full show.
Yeah, with dialogue.
And I wasn't expecting it to be so like emotional and
yeah.
I want to be careful real quick. I don't want to
spoil.
We're not going to spoil anything about the show because if you have the opportunity, we want you to go see it. But in general terms, it is a really profoundly emotional.
It touches. Can I say broad subjects?
Well,
Broadway.
I don't think you should call women, broads.
Stop. It touches on addiction, recovery, sexual assault, like trauma passed
Just
down through
all the
generations.
heavies.
All the heavies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking it's real, it's relatable, and I did not expect to be so moved by it, especially just in the very beginning of it washing over me. And then as the story unfolded, I was like, this is my favorite thing I think I've ever seen.
And for those of you who don't know, it was the book was written by the way, I know the lingo now. The book is what they call the words that are not
the stuff that's
that
not
are not
the
being
music
sung. Because when I originally wrote it, I was like, oh, they made a book about this? I was like, no, Craig.
There's a novel?
I present to you Jagged Little Pill, written by Michael Crichton.
I read that.
When you have control. What is happening? Diablo Cody wrote it. She is a incredible screenwriter. She wrote Juno. She's worked with Jason Reitman a lot. Maybe Jason Reitman adapts this to his next feature film after he's got it.
Be fine
Listen,
with that.
if you're a director, you got to have a musical. You got to have one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I don't think George
I think
Lucas
you just
has a
made that
musical.
up. Yeah.
Okay. If Stanley Kubrick would have done a musical, it would have been great. That's all I'm saying.
Probably.
The play was great. Mm-hmm. First half, incident free. I don't even know how to go about this story. I'm going to preface this real quick. Before we haven't told many people this story, like only like 4. Before we tell this story, we want to make this abundantly clear. We are extremely supportive and grateful for people in the military and the troops and the armed services, anybody who has ever put their life on the line to defend this country. I say, hey, I want to buy you a Canada Dry or a Dr. Pepper Blue Angel. I can't remember what it was called. What was it?
Mini can.
No, what were those blue Dr. Peppers called?
Dark Berry.
Dr. Berry?
Not a Blue Angel.
Dark Berry?
Dark Berry.
Dark Berry.
Dr. Blueberry.
Yeah. I want to buy you a blue Dr. Pepper. No, all seriousness, it's that it goes without saying that we are very supportive of that. So as we tell this story, please keep that in mind.
But we are also very supportive of people who are in the arts and who are performers and who take time and effort and devote their lives to performing on Broadway and interpreting beautiful.
I really wish I could be a YHS
art.
listener right now going, what the fuck
What is about to happen?
What is about to happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there we are. Linda Blair sits in front of us.
And I'm like,
sweet dreams, Linda. It's not fair
to remind me.
Okay.
I'm starting to feel my anxiety wash away.
I feel like we should have.
This is great.
We should have told the story in song form. It would have been way better.
I want you to shush. It's I was in Afghanistan. Okay, I'm not gonna. No spoilers.
Okay. There is a couple in front of us. We're in the mezzanine. It's not a very big theater. Really great seats.
No, in fact, I noted how small and tight and compact the seating was because I'm the type of person who likes to have a little bit of personal space. And when I sat down, I realized, we're very, very close to people.
Right.
There's a lot of people.
We are very close to these people.
Very, very close.
They were drinking. They skewed a little bit older than us, probably mid-40s, I would say. They looked like they were in their mid-60s. They probably were 25.
Some light conversation in the first half.
You listen. Sometimes you turn to your neighbor to make a little comment here and there. It's whatever. It's a musical. It's fairly loud at times. There was some talking. They decide a lot of the times it was talking during very quiet, emotional monologues or dialogues where the entire crowd is basically sitting on the edge of their seat, intently staring at these amazing performers.
As the character is unraveling and you're getting their backstory and it's something that's resonating with you. And that was kind of where I was.
So there was some talking. Not too much in the first half, but after the intermission, they continued to drink. They continued to chug their little drinks.
They were drunk at this point.
They were drunk.
Started the second act. These people were drunk. Right. And that kind of brings me to like, I don't think they should be serving alcohol in places like this. Like I get, people maybe want to have like a glass of wine or something and watch the theater, but there are a lot of people who have trouble controlling that kind of thing. And if they're just serving drinks and not, limiting that kind of stuff. Like you're in, it's one thing to, whisper something to your friend if you're in a movie. I hate talking in a movie theater, but you can get away with that a couple times. But live theater, you shut the fuck up the entire time. There's no talking. Like those people can hear you. Right. It's like, it is the most disrespectful thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jake.
Yeah,
this is good. I'm feeling
also,
good
when you're spending a large amount of money for instance, I've walked out of movie theaters where people are talking close to me and it's annoying, and I will go and buy a ticket to see the movie at a different theater that's quieter. I couldn't do that in this situation because this was basically a once in a lifetime, especially this was the final performance almost of this cast. So it was like the original cast. Not their final performance.
Nothing that you just said was true.
I was looking at Craig like, is any of this true?
I was like, what?
Please.
It was the final and only performance of that day.
The evening. But it's like,
I'll calm down.
It's even like a step above saying just live theater because it's fucking Broadway.
Yeah.
It's like, this is fancy times. It's like, this is the times where you shut up and pretend you're a fancy person.
I have a feeling that
you watch a Broadway show.
This couple might have been confused and thought this was an Alanis Morissette festival concert.
Yeah.
And that is honestly.
Hey, by the way, more than just them, there was a lot of people singing along, and it was very annoying. It's not a goddamn.
Was it a lot of people, or was it those two?
It was mostly those two, but there was definitely times where you kind of heard a quiet hum of people like.
I hate that.
Like at one point, like I definitely heard like 50 or 60 people going, "You already want to be over in the spine," and I was just like, guys, I know that you think this song has to do with your dumb relationship and how you guys were meant for each other, even though you're both cheating on each other, you fucking assholes. Because everybody, God, I'm getting so mad thinking.
All right, we've already built it up. We know what we're getting to. If people, I think, in my opinion, you can let it go if people are communicating during music.
They kept talking.
It wasn't during the music though.
All right, here's the thing. They kept talking.
Scene.
It was getting annoying. It was getting to be egregious. At one point, this is my favorite part. Well, this is my first favorite part. I hear a rustle to the left of me. You know me. I just assume everybody already is going to have a gun and is going to kill us, which this would have been the night. Jake goes to lean over to tell him to basically shut the fuck up. And I give him a hard stop.
He stopped
a mom
me.
save.
I got
arm out.
so mad at you.
I was like,
don't let him tell me what to do.
I was like, Jake, I don't know why I stopped you. It was just an instinct, like, it'll be okay. They'll stop probably. It wasn't 20 seconds later where they continued to talk and Abby
emitted a shush.
Oh, it was a shush, all right.
It was a pent up shush.
It was a
I won't lie. I had been holding it in because it was a scene where two characters were talking quietly about a shared trauma in their past that I personally had been through, and it was something that I was like connecting to and
you
crying
went down
over.
On Dave Coulier at a theater.
No.
What were they talking about? What were they? But I would? Oh, Joe Gladstone, cut it out.
The fact is, I was like in rapture. I was experiencing catharsis. I was very emotional in watching the scene. And this woman was leaning over again and again to communicate something, which Jonesy, shush.
Shush the cat now.
My cat's like trying to open a toy box right now. Okay, so I shushed her. I went, shh. That was the extent of it. I went, shh. I didn't lean in. I didn't call her names. There was no more than a shush. It sort of felt like it was an automatic mission. It came out because I wanted to be listening and I thought that it was rude and she should not be talking, so I shushed.
I don't think you should feel bad or have to apologize for emitting a shush. If somebody is talking in a theater, they're the ones doing the wrong. A shush is okay.
That's how I felt, and I am not a shusher. I do not
I'm
casually
starting to realize
shush.
As we tell this story, and it's going to evolve over the years. This is our Keith Hernandez story from Seinfeld with the magic loogie.
Oh yeah. We're gonna keep talking about him. I hate
Keith
Hernandez. I was 2 feet away from her.
I loathe Keith Hernandez. Nice game, pretty boy. Okay.
So I shushed.
You shushed.
I shushed. My heart rate immediately jumped, and
Mine too.
I felt because it was met. I was greeted with a head turn, not unlike Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
This woman kind of looks like Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
Yes. I will not attack someone's physical appearance. It has nothing to do with that. She did turn around and give me a death stare, and I stared directly at the stage while tears were streaming down my face. I was still like, I want to watch this. I'm not trying to have a thing with you, ma'am. I'm just trying to watch the show.
Yeah, all 3 of us could see her turn her entire body around, but all 3 of us were just trying to ignore it and watch the show.
But she did engage us, and she said, she was like, she said something, and I looked at her and I said, ma'am, we're just trying to enjoy the show. If you guys could just be quiet. And she goes, you could be nicer about it. It's like, sorry, I don't have a quill and ink with me to write you an elegant letter requesting you to be the fucking
sent
quiet.
By carrier pigeon. Please, madam, would you lower your voice during my live performance?
You know that little bell?
Shut the fuck up.
That bell
is pretty much the nicest thing you can do.
You know that little bell that rings before, like when you have 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I wish it was like, shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
So she's annoyed. Listen,
at that
people
point,
don't like being like people who are insecure or obnoxious or drunk.
I awoke the dragon.
They don't like being called out. It's like a thing with human beings. So you called her out. So kind of calms down for a few minutes. There's probably about 45 minutes left in the play. There's I think it was during the end of one of the big songs. It's really loud. She turns around to start engaging with us again.
Just randomly in the middle of it. Yeah.
She leans over. Abby's not even looking at her. She's looking at me and she goes, me and my boyfriend were in Afghanistan and he is deaf. He has 80% hearing loss. I was trying to explain to him something. And I just was like, ma'am, I'm sorry. That sounds like you've been through some stuff. Let's just try to enjoy the show. She then goes, so you're saying that because he's 80% deaf, we can't go to a show? And Jake looks at her and goes, yeah.
Now,
there's no way she heard you. She didn't hear you.
Annoyance,
right?
Yeah.
You know,
she didn't hear you. It was like a like if you're gonna say something asinine and ridiculous, I'm gonna meet that with something asinine and ridiculous.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, if you can't, if you're deaf and you know you're going to a show and somebody's got to like talk to you, like there are specific performances for that kind of thing. Like I have a couple friends who are deaf and who work in the deaf community, and theater has performances specifically for those kind of situations, and there's interpreters and stuff like that.
100%.
So like I'm sorry that you're deaf, but that doesn't mean you can just talk through a Broadway show. You can't.
There was nothing urgent enough to be explained.
Also,
for the amount of talking.
she's a liar. She's a liar. Yeah. They were just talking. They were just talking, and they were singing.
Yes.
You don't need to sing it to him. Like they were just being drunk and just talking to each other.
Right. And that's why when I prefaced the story, this has nothing to do with people who have been to war or have been in the military, who have disabilities, anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. 99% of human beings, no matter what they go through, whether they have physical disabilities or mental disabilities, majority of human beings carry themselves in a respectful manner. And these people were just drunk, awful people. Mm-hmm. So she leans in to tell her story, and I say, ma'am, I'm sorry. That sounds like you guys have been through a lot. Let's just call it here and move on, right? I'm trying to be the bigger person.
Get it to stop. Like, I don't want to argue. Just stop so I can watch the rest of the show.
And I told her, I said, listen, I've been podcasting a long time. I did not say that. I would not say that. So
at that point, someone behind us tapped us on the back and said, like, we got your back. And the lady next to me patted me on the shoulder and
everybody
said,
could hear it.
Yeah, and gave me tissues and said to take care because she had to leave early.
Right, and that's
Like
the thing.
throughout the show, you could see the people like that were sitting in front of them keep like looking back. Like it wasn't like it was just us who could hear them. They were being loud enough that everybody in that section was watching them because they would not stop talking.
Right. So the show continues. They continue to talk the rest of the show, and every time they would talk, she would look back to see if we were going to react. It was almost like they were taunting us.
Yeah.
Abby was becoming very emotional because of the show. It was we're just trying to enjoy the show. We're not paying attention. Like, sorry, you're not the center of our universe.
Yeah, I had tuned her out at that point and completely tuned into the show, which was
so. The good news is we were able to finish the show, and it was good, and it didn't ruin the experience. The show ends. We're gathering our things. We're standing up.
At that point, I'm like, okay, it's over. Let's turn and go right out the exit, which is next to me. And at that point, the woman came up.
The woman stood up,
got next to me, and tapped me on the
shoulder. Went
shoulder.
down the row and got in Abby's face. And basically starts retelling she starts saying all the same stuff. Like it's not even worth repeating because we just said it all. We were in Afghanistan. My boyfriend's deaf. What's your fucking problem? But the thing is she's becoming more elevated and animated.
She's very drunk.
She's making an idiot out of herself.
What I said was, I don't need to talk to you. And I went and walked behind Craig and Jake.
She walked behind us. So now you got me and Jake, but it's like two really tough human beings, you know? Like I'm surprised anybody with
two big, muscular, good-looking dudes.
Good-looking dudes.
I couldn't believe. I was like, I can't believe she could even talk to me. I'm so good looking. She's in my face, and I'm doing I'm making like a push motion. I'm going, ma'am, you need to go. You just have to step away. Like. What I'm trying to articulate is like, you might be the kind of person who likes having public altercations and meltdowns.
We aren't.
And the world's out to get you. And that sounds like you're going through stuff, but that's not my life. Like right now, I've got two words on my mind: pizza and bathroom. I got to pee and I want some pizza.
Yeah.
I want the two P's.
Okay.
Pizza, bathroom. Not even at the order. Could be the same time. I don't really care. Give me pepperoni pee-pee time. Okay?
Yeah. Same time. I'll take the pizza in the bathroom. I don't care.
All right. I just said that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we're all eating pizza and peeing.
Releasing trauma right now.
There you go.
Release processing slowly.
Okay. So she gets on my face, and other people are like telling them, like, as it's escalating and they're making idiots out of themselves, people are like, go, shut up. Abby's getting kind of aggravated. At this point, my heart rate is elevating. My leg was involuntary.
Just shaking. Adrenaline's going.
Jake, what were you feeling at this point?
I was just kind of in shock that it was happening. I was like, we're in a Broadway show. We're in the Alanis Morissette musical with the entire original cast.
And the message is all anti-rape
And it was
culture.
their last show.
That's not true.
Yeah, exactly,
so
Abby. The message of the show is very, very, like the things that these people say in this next thing that we're about to get to is it's like you guys didn't even watch the show.
Yeah, if at any point you're like, well, maybe Abby shouldn't have done that. Yeah, this is where it gets different.
So this is where it gets... her boyfriend, I guess she said it was her boyfriend, who he had like titanium legs. I do not doubt that they were in the military and went through some hard shit. There's no doubt in my mind that I don't think people would just make that up. But they were drunk. They were very drunk. And he starts... Like, as Abby and I are both like, you need to go, you need to get out of the way. Like, Abby at one point was like, hey, you did say, like, I'm 7 years sober. I don't need to hear this from you, which is like, that's just you saying your truth. That's like, your thing. When you said that, this guy goes, you need to tell your fucking bitch to shut up.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to react. I'm like, who does that? I feel like I'm in a YouTube video.
Yeah.
I feel like
he was yelling.
I feel like
that's
Jake
verbal assault.
is on a hotel bed watching a YouTube video of people fighting, and I look at the video and it's us.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
We're in the middle of a road. We can't go either way. There were people behind us. Everybody was like looking at it.
Right.
Everybody was very shocked. Yeah.
The thing is, so anytime you watch a public altercation, you're immediately trying to figure out who's in the wrong. So I was very conscious of that. I'm like, well, I'm not going to match this guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay calm and let him be the idiot. It was clear to me that he probably did not have a weapon because he would have probably brought it out by this point. So I didn't feel like scared for my life or anything. can you guys believe we're not exaggerating at all?
None of
this
this
is
this is not this all 100%
I was being like,
happened.
yeah, Jake and I were at that point started shuffling towards the other side of the
Right.
exit
Yeah,
and kind of were
we
being,
tried to just leave. Like at one point, that lady got in my face, and I didn't say much to her, but I was just like, I tried to just be civil, and I said the same thing I said a few minutes ago. I was like, hey, this is live theater. You can't talk, you know?
Right.
And I was like, it has nothing to do with you guys. Like, they can hear you. Like those people,
right.
Those are people up there. They can hear when you talk.
Right.
Like this thing is built for projection, and it's built for sound to travel.
Right.
yeah.
So he gets in my face.
Yeah.
He gets in my face and he's screaming at me. And again, I'm like, all I can come up with, listen, I've got so many witty lines hitting me, like one after the other, and I'm using my willpower and I'm ignoring them, and I'm just saying, you guys need to go. You need to walk the other direction. We're gonna walk the other way, and we're gonna call it a night. And he keeps yelling and screaming. And at this point, other people start yelling at him. They're like, "Shut up! Be quiet!"
They start
Someone
calling
yells
for
security.
security. Yeah, security gets called.
And
at
he
this
starts
point.
going, "Oh, you think blah blah? I was in. They kept saying I was in Afghanistan. Blah blah blah." And he kept
over and over. Yeah.
and over.
And once he walked away,
I don't even think he was in the war in Afghanistan. I just think he lived there and he's mad
He just had a
about
hotel over there.
Yeah.
He just didn't like the service in the service in the hotel room.
It was so crazy. So finally, people are yelling at him. We're trying to go the other direction. My number one concern is Abigail. I'm trying to make sure that she's okay. Jake's trying to make sure Abby's okay. Other people are checking on us. Like, you guys okay? What's going on? I'm like, yeah, these guys are just drunk. They're yelling at us. We shushed them. They did not like being shushed. It was an appropriate shush.
it was a nice shush.
Yeah.
Good shush.
And then they're kind of going the other direction, and the guy is still just yelling. He's yelling at the top of his lungs. Now, this is where I probably messed up, and maybe I would do this next time, but...
When he got the audience.
Well, it calmed down here.
Packed out.
It calmed down, and he went one way, and then this happened.
In my core, I am George Costanza.
I loved this.
So we're kind of... The whole crowd saw this. There's probably, 50, 60 people around. We're kind of dispersing. And I audibly say, well, I guess Alanis Morissette just gets everybody all riled up. Now, it got a really good laugh.
Yeah,
It got a good laugh.
It got a good laugh.
They're writing. I heard they're writing it into the show.
Yeah.
When there's that much tension, it feels everyone needs to
And
release it.
I
So.
literally felt like George Costanza. I was like, that's it. I'm leaving. I'm done.
It's a packed house.
Right when there was some laughter, he goes,
Well, of course, I laughed loudest because I had the most nervous energy in me at that point.
You hear, are you fucking making fun of me? And in my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, now his hearing's not so
now
bad.
we can
Like, now.
stop it.
Look who can hear
Yeah.
all of a sudden.
Stop it.
I turned around and he was like coming at us like pretty fast. It was like looking up and seeing like Bowser in the Nintendo 64 Super Mario, where he's just like really huge, and he was coming at us pretty quickly, and he was yelling.
He was yelling and screaming,
thinking
and by
that
the way,
we were making fun of him.
Just to reiterate again, Jake, you just said that you have friends who are deaf and work with sign language in the deaf community. My hearing in my left ear fucking sucks. My dad suffers from
Tinnitus.
Severe tinnitus. Like, this is not a joking manner. There's nothing funny about disabilities or living with disabilities.
But they were never in question, and they were never part of the actual incident.
Yeah, I didn't
of the
lean
shush.
over in the middle of the play.
I didn't scan them. I was not aware of that. That has
That's
nothing to do with what took place.
That's not the issue.
Yeah.
He's yelling and screaming again. He again called Abby some very offensive words.
B word.
And at that point, we didn't even have to say anything because everybody else was like, shut up, leave, get out of here. At this point, I had gotten separated from Abby and Jake, and I was with some other people, some strangers, and they were like, hey, what's going on? And I was just like, I don't know, just told them.
There was like a
talking.
nice woman that helped usher me out. She told me she liked my jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it was insane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if we're doing it justice. My heart was racing so unbelievably fast. My adrenaline was pumping, but we all kept our composure. The trick is when somebody's escalating, you don't match them because
you walk away. That's the best.
Yeah. They end up looking dumber and more ridiculous the more elevated and animated they get. And if you stay calm, that makes them even crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we did stay calm, but it was insane.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like, it's just so ridiculous how there's like a big section of that show that's, you know, kind of like a women's rights thing. And it's like, you just sat through this show
and you're using that
and
word.
you want to call somebody a bitch.
And I told Jake, I was like, I will give them $100 right now if they can tell me what that play was about. They didn't know. They were drunk. And by the way, they only knew the singles.
Yeah.
They thought they were just going to a sing-along.
Yeah, they weren't singing along to the fucking B-side.
What's this song?
Or the deep cuts.
Dude, it's like, go to Vegas. Go and see who do we fucking watch in Vegas? Like, those shows are for that. They're for drinking.
They're in the wrong
for drinking
place.
and not giving a shit about the content.
Right. And you know what? I was talking to my my cousin Taylor Williamson, stand-up comedian, phenomenal. I was talking to him about this, and he was telling me.
Did you call him a phenomenon?
He's a phenomenon.
He's a phenomenon.
He's pretty good. He deals with this all the time. He's like, dude, especially when I go to small towns, you just deal with drunk assholes all of the time, either heckling or causing fights or starting shit with people. It's an epidemic, and that's why once we wrap up our Shred It Forward campaign, we're starting a new campaign called YHS.
Silent theater.
Silent theater. Stop assholes from going out in public.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It luckily did not ruin the enjoyment of the show.
No, and thankfully I've got a great therapist, and I've worked to a place where I'm like, I can control myself and handle myself through difficult stuff like that. And I got y'all. So
we're getting real tonight. I didn't think this New York recap episode would be so real.
It's real. We all got real as fuck with each other. You know,
it was good.
Family.
It was crazy, but we were able to move on from that and have a great night. And listen, I hope those people figure their shit out.
Yeah,
it's not what I really hope, but that's what I'm going to say publicly.
No,
but yeah, it's fine. We had a great time, and it did not ruin it was at the very this all happened before Toy Fair.
I was gonna say I want to say something. This was day 2. This was our first full day.
Yeah.
We had just gotten there the day, like the evening before.
Right. Before Toy Fair. And
yeah, we got our major league altercation out of the way before Toy Fair. Is nice.
What if all this happened at Toy Fair? Well, then the guy from Funko got in my face.
All weekend we were like, God, I hope we see him again.
Yeah.
We're gonna see him at Toy Fair. These people will be running the NECA booth tomorrow.
I don't think they'd remember us.
No.
That night did end well, though. We went and we got pizza and laughed and had a great time. And I appreciate having good friends like y'all to stand by my side.
It was good. And we thank you to our listeners who we know you guys were there with us in spirit.
Yeah, I felt y'all.
It was a lot like I felt, dude, honestly, at one point when we were all standing up and that guy was kind of like coming at us, you know, there was a moment where I closed my eyes and I could hear all of the YHS listeners, and they were like, fulfill your destiny. And they were like whispering things to me, and I was like, oh shit, I am all of Yes Have Some.
Oh my fucking God. You just heard fucking John Yerkeba Slimer voice at one point.
Yeah. It was great.
Oh man. I like that idea. They all
I am all therapy.
I want that t-shirt.
I am all of group therapy. I like that. That's
with
a
everyone's like faces as little stars in a galaxy.
Yep.
Everyone. Cool.
I love it.
Let's do it.
What is it? A buy it. Hold on. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Ready for this? That is no way to treat a buy it now button on eBay.
Is that your Skywalker?
That's my Luke Skywalker. Is it bad?
Okay.
It's
not great.
It's not your best, but it was a pretty good first attempt.
Oh, Batman! That was also Luke Skywalker.
Okay. That was better. I mean, it was better.
Okay.
Like that.
We'll work on it. All right, cool. Well, that was our Jagged Little Pill story.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where to go. The only thing I have to say is,
I mean, we could skip toy. I mean, are we wrapping up? Are we done? Or we got
a little bit of time left.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, we might as well go ahead and. So we talked about Toy Fair already. We can skip the Toy Fair, but then we had another day where we hit more filming locations.
Yeah. So Toy Fair was great. We did a bunch of Toy Fair things. Mm-hmm. Really,
my birthday happened.
Sunday was Jake's birthday.
Yeah.
Got to see our friend Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody let me buy a toy.
We did not let Jake buy a thing. We took the train. We took the subway out to Brooklyn, and we even did a live video from the waiting on the subway train at midnight. That was really cool.
I like taking the train. That was cool.
Train was
Brooklyn
good.
was very cool. Went to Champ's Diner.
Got some vegan food. I got my classic Craig vegan meal: tater tots.
Pancakes.
Tater tots and pancakes.
Yeah, I'm a psycho.
Dude, I want that right now.
It was great though. But yeah, we hit more locations. We hit some cool toy stores. So, what was it? The last day there, we hit. Are
you thinking of toy stores or locations?
No. 55 Central Park West.
Central Park West.
Yeah. Where you've got Dana's apartment. The Shandor building.
Yep. The church.
We went and performed some unnecessary surgeries on unsuspecting tourists. It was fine.
It was good.
And you got the church there. Nobody steps on a church in my town. Then we went to Columbus Circle, saw the Stay Puft entranceway, and
we saw the archway from the end of Cloverfield.
Went to the Cloverfield tunnel, filmed some content there.
Some really high art concept, really good stuff.
Yeah. Nobody talked during that performance. We went to the Seinfeld restaurant, Tom's restaurant, or Monk's, or whatever. On the show, it's Monk's. In real life, it's Tom's. We did not eat there.
Yeah.
But man, we hit a lot of places, and then that night, let's get to some more good stuff.
Yeah.
Toy Tokyo. We found a toy store.
Tokyo.
We were at Toy Fair all week and we couldn't buy a toy. We finally found a place we could buy a toy.
We don't buy any toys. I was the only one, let me say, at either of the toy stores. We went to Forbidden Planet first, then we went to Toy Tokyo, and I was the only person who bought anything.
Jake, what was your impression of Toy Tokyo? Recommended by Jay Key, fan of the pod, friend of the pod.
Is one of the most glorious places I've ever been in. There was a lot of really cool stuff in there. They had this weird custom Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that was you could kind of see through and you could see his bones. And then they had a T-Rex from Jurassic Park. And they had a very giant section of Godzilla and Ultraman and rare Godzilla stuff, hard to find, kind of expensive stuff. And if we were, in Atlanta or something, I would have spent a lot of money in there, but I was realizing I can't get any of this home. And there's nothing, you can't buy any sort of Godzilla toy and then fly it home. It just doesn't work. There's a tail, there's spines.
Right.
Was stressful.
I mean, the store itself specializes in a lot of Japanese imports and collaborations, a lot of limited edition. What is that? Is it Sophobies? They make a lot of these really cool.
Yeah, it's like a vinyl.
It's a
vinyl
figures.
Toy company.
Really, really cool stuff. Very pricey, but I mean it's pricey everywhere. And like Jake said, a lot of it you just couldn't get home. A lot of it's too big. But there was a lot of stuff I haven't seen before. But they also had a decent selection, some vintage stuff, some NECA stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
They had all the Hateful Eight figures for $100 a pop, which made me feel good because I was like, "Is that what they're worth?" Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and I was bragging when I walked past them. I was like, "Oh, got them for cheaper."
Got all those.
Got them. First of all, got them. Second of all, paid less. I got a Smisky there, which is my new obsession.
Guys, I just remembered something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, this is a very mild version, but we kind of got yelled at again on this night.
Oh, another trauma.
Search and destroy.
Let's talk about that.
So First of all, we are not plugging the store.
At.
Go ahead.
Well, this is what happened. What we did was
we're not promoting them.
Was it search and destroy?
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill the video, Jake. It's
your audio's getting all fucked up.
Here's the thing. Our plan and what we kind of did in New York is we would kind of take a Lyft or an Uber to a certain spot that we wanted to hit. And once we would go to that spot, we would just start walking around to see where it took us. So after we left Toy Tokyo, and I do recommend everybody check out that store if and when you go to New York City. I never know what neighborhood I'm in, but we found out a listener reached out, can't remember who it was, I'm sorry, and let us know that the original filming location for Ray's Occult Books from Ghostbusters 2 was like right around the corner. So we walked over there. It was great. We took pictures. It looks nothing like it did in that, one frame of the movie, 1989, but it was still cool to get those pictures. Mm-hmm. And next door was this store, Search and Destroy, which is like a thrift shop. And we're like, well, let's check this out. And I'll let Abby take over, and Jake, and you guys can talk about what you thought of it.
When I hear thrift shop, I think of like antiques, old books, and old technology, toys possibly, maybe a couple items of clothing. But this was different. Jake? Do you want to take over?
From the outside, it looked really cool. There was a lot of they had a lot of weird stuff in their windows, costumes, stuff like that. We were like, oh, this looks like it could be a cool place. So we go in, and the first thing that, Craig, you point out to me is they have a shelf that has 10 to 15 My Pet Monsters on it. There was a shelf, and it had 10 to 15 of the original My Pet Monsters. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me take a picture of that. And I pull my phone out, and I'm filming it because I tried to film everything over the entire weekend so we can put a video together. And immediately the guy's like, no pictures.
And we're the only ones in the store.
Like, oh, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I put my phone away. But I was like, whoa, they were very upset about the pictures. There was cool stuff in there. They had some vintage things that weren't for sale, but were just really cool looking on their walls. There was a Yoda puppet that was life size, and it must have been from when the original trilogy came out. It looked really cool, but it was kind of rotting. You could tell it was old because the latex was all rotting off it.
Right.
And I'm sure there was some cool stuff hidden in there, but first of all, the music made me want to chop my head off. Mm. And the people that were working there were really they were very hostile.
Yeah. So yeah. I think the whole thing is it's like a punk rock.
It's like
store.
A shock culture place.
Yeah, but you could just tell those people are just fucking dumb 20-year-olds who just
We read the reviews of the place, so they said that they just anticipate that their clientele is going to shoplift.
Right.
So they just stalk you the entire time you're shopping, which is not my style.
That's what it felt like.
And
I don't need.
They got stupid it's like fake shock value stuff. There's a bunch of dead baby dolls and shit. And
there's some actual
dumb shit.
disturbing
to me,
stuff, which I wish
when
I
was in there, I was like, this feels like Junkman's Daughter to me, which is just kind of a cheesy. It's not. There's nothing about it that really actually felt. Because I was going through the vintage shirts and stuff. I'm like, half of these are fucking Ramones and Green Day shirts
Walmart.
from fucking Target. So it's just this place.
We love Walmart.
We love Walmart.
We love Walmart,
but not Target.
But I don't want to spend $50 on a T-shirt that I could have bought there at a vintage store that's just marked up where I get yelled at.
So we bailed pretty quickly, but it sucked. And there's all these kids sitting on the stoop.
Smoking.
It looked like they all got kicked out of Sesame Street and they were mad about it or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was just fucking stupid.
Yeah, if you've seen the movie Kids, it had that kind of a vibe.
Yeah. Except for these
petulant.
These kids probably had so much money.
It had a spaghetti in the bathtub vibe.
Yeah.
Come on. Dude.
This is the catharsis I needed.
So after that, we said fuck it, and we went to Chinatown, and we had a good evening walking around Chinatown getting food. That was a good end of the night.
That was a classic YHS. We did a double dinner.
Oh yeah, I gotta talk about this. I want to give a major shout out right now. So earlier in that day, we have a longtime listener of Yes Have Some podcasts. Ghostbuster Joe, a lot of aliases. Ghostbuster Joe, Joe the Greeter, Randy Ratiguez. He's been with us since the beginning. He's a huge supporter of the show. We really love him. He messaged us during the day. He's from the New York area. He was like, you guys got to go to Katz Delicatessen, which is a famous deli in New York. It's where they filmed the famous scene from When Harry Met Sally, which I have a confession. I've never seen that movie. And
I wouldn't allow myself to take a picture of it since I haven't seen the movie.
Here's the thing. I went and watched that scene. Jake, you were right about
Meg Ryan.
She's she's a pastrami sandwich with a side of fries if I ever had one. But anyways, he was like, Joe was like, you guys got to go to Cats. It's a New York, legendary place. And it was our last night. So I made it my business. I said, Joe, what should I get? He said, get the pastrami sandwich and fries. I was like, you know what? I am going to eat that for dinner tonight. So when we were in Chinatown, we found a little vegan spot. You guys got your stuff.
We got dim sum. We got fried rice. We like barged on a meal. Jake and I. It was nice.
Yep, you did. And then we got took a lift over to Cats. It was a couple miles away. And I fucking barged on a sandwich, man. It's expensive.
Talk about it.
It's like a $35 sandwich.
No. Say how.
Well, that's how much it was.
Oh, the sandwich itself.
Sandwich.
Okay.
Got a sandwich and fries. We got 3 root beers. And Abby, what'd you get?
I got some macaroni salad.
Potato salad.
Yeah.
It was $50.
Yeah.
It was a one-man meal barge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
But it was cool being in there.
It was a great spot. Thank you so much to Joe for recommending that. I wish you would have told me how much it was. I needed a cosigner. Okay. I was like, dude,
couldn't afford our house.
I'm trying to buy a house. This is a questionable purchase on my bank statement. $50 for some pastrami?
I liked it. I like that spot. I like how they yell at you. It's definitely been there forever and has that old school, just no bullshit atmosphere.
It was awesome.
I like that.
It was awesome. Next time I go, I'm going to try the matzo ball soup. Total good vibe. And it was really cool, man. And by the way, shout out to Joe. Shout out to all of our listeners who gave us recommendations of places to go and check out while we were up in New York. It was really great. And we can't tell you guys how much we appreciate you guys tuning in for our Toy Fair coverage and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We felt obligated to capture. I'm about to get emotional. I'm going to do it. Should I?
Yeah.
I've been crying a lot lately. I feel like that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry finally unlocks his emotions?
Yeah.
That's been me lately.
What is this?
What is this salty discharge coming from my eyes? No. Real talk. I felt very fortunate to be able to go to Toy Fair and go for the first time. And obviously we're very passionate about collecting toys and very passionate about what we do. Yes, have some. Just to be able to go there and do the coverage, I felt an obligation to capture as much of it as possible and to share it with you guys and to share it on our social channels and YouTube and all that. And I just felt good about it. I also felt good about running into Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes in our hotel. And next time I run into...
Validation.
Also, why are they staying in our hotel?
I don't know.
They should
that happened.
They should be doing better than that.
You literally concocted a whole theory. You're like, well, they might just be using the gym. And I was like, I don't think there's a gym in our hotel.
This makes no sense.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We didn't even touch on this at Toy Fair. Jazzwares has the license for the new AEW wrestling action figures, and it was a closed off booth. We couldn't get in there. We could have, but it was just a lot of people. But while we were there,
it was taking too.
We saw the Young Bucks. We saw Cody. We saw Brandy. We saw Chris Jericho a lot. You just walking around.
He's just walking around. Yeah.
But after Toy Fair, we came back to the hotel, and Cody and Brandy were sitting in our little lobby there. Went up, introduced ourselves, said hi. Two very, very charming people who are very successful and from Atlanta. So keep it real.
Yeah.
Is it true that you introduced yourself as Cookie Craig and then said you're in my chair?
I cut a promo on him. I said,
Cookie Craig.
I did like a Jake the Snake promo. I was like, oh, so it seems that somebody's sitting in my seat. The problem is Cookie Craig doesn't take a liking to people who don't take cookies seriously because the life of a cookie man is not the life that anybody should take for granted. So what I'm going to tell you, Mr. Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes, is that if you want to mess around and you don't want to take cookies as seriously as I do, chocolate chip, Oreos, banana butternut. That's a new one I just made up.
What's that?
I just made it up.
Sounds good.
You can't think of more than 2 cookies?
Banana butternut?
What I'm saying
Oatmeal
is
raisin?
that there's a reckoning coming. And it's coming on March 15th from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll see you there. But you better get there early because I don't save cookies for no one. Cookie Craig out.
Cookie Craig's birthday is March 16th.
It
so
is.
for all of you going to see that performance,
What if I
make sure
would've
you say
done-
happy birthday
Hey,
to
what
him.
if I would have done that? They would have escorted me out of the building.
Well, I
You
sent
wouldn't
a
even take a
picture of
picture.
we saw Chris Jericho walking around, and I sent a picture to my friend who's a big wrestling fan, and his response was, "Go spear him." And I was like, "What if I just did that in the middle of Toy Fair? Just spear Chris Jericho?"
and then like you pin him, and I'm like counting.
Yeah, it just turns into a match.
I'll
Your
tap in.
winner and new Toy Fair champion, Jacob. It's just like a Toy Fair championship. It just turns into a whole
Yeah.
thing.
There's a
Dude.
belt for some
Yeah,
reason.
there's a
Someone
belt.
comes
Then
out of
I
nowhere with a
drop
belt.
down from the sky and
Uncle,
steal it from you.
No, you drop down one of those in a parachute, like that
Yeah.
Evander Holyfield
I
boxing
got the
match.
suitcase. I'm gonna
You're
hit you
cashing
with
in money in the bank.
I'm cashing in.
I like that.
Yeah.
They're not going to let us back into Toy Fair, are they?
Probably.
Find
No,
a
it was
way in.
in all seriousness.
just like the Mattel area,
Yeah.
they're not going to let us in.
Oh, they're like,
Jesus.
do you have an appointment?
The Mattel area of Toy Fair was like the backstage of the Aerosmith concert,
You
Wayne's
wanna know-
World 2.
First of all, what pissed me off the most about it is that all the Ellen kids got to go in right before us. Before we got denied,
We should
saw
have
a bunch
pretended
of
we were on
kids going
Ellen.
in.
Hi, we're here with Ellen. We're here
Hi,
to-
I'm the Shirley Temple King.
I do
give you guys
want
a
to say that there
6.
was one point, I think this was on the first day of Toy Fair. I don't even think we had made it in a room yet. We ran into, God, I can't remember his name, but the guy who runs the Collect Jurassic
Yeah.
Instagram page, which is a pretty great page.
Yeah, for sure.
And the way he got our attention was just by yelling Congo over and over.
Yep.
He was just like, Congo, Congo, Congo. And I was like, whoa, what? And I turned around and it was just him trying to get our attention.
How?
And that's
Okay,
my
what is
favorite
that?
thing
If
that's
you
ever
don't
happened
know our
in this
names,
podcast.
call us Congo.
What does that say about Yes Have Some podcast? That when encountering Yes Have Some in the wild,
Congo! Congo.
we need to make a video. Like the rules.
Well, not a lot of people will respond to Congo. We do.
I don't think anybody would.
Yeah,
Congo.
Listen,
I loved it. Also, that dude was really cool.
he
I
was
liked,
great. And
talking to him.
as the number one Congo podcast
Yeah.
going today.
I'm going to change our profile on Instagram to Yes Have Some, aka Congo.
I like it.
Okay.
We used to be the number one Child's Play podcast, and then we're the number one Leprechaun podcast. We'll always be the number one Twister podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we still are.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Forever.
Yeah.
It's always spinning.
Hey, Abby, if you were going to start a Twister podcast, what would it be called?
Suck Zone.
I like that.
The Suck Zone.
Yeah, dude.
That was quick.
That
You
was
had
Yeah,
pretty
it's
quick.
not hard.
Yeah.
You got Finger of God. Don't want that.
No.
Suck Zone's cool.
Cool. If you were gonna open a strip club, what would you call it?
Suck Zone. Oh, Finger of God.
We got sisters.
Oh, we got cows. Oh, that's not nice.
Hey, is there a porn parody of Twister?
Oh.
Because
That belt?
that scene where they say we've got sisters would
It's
be pretty,
like, whew,
pretty
yeah,
crazy.
they like us.
Oh my god. He's not in it for the science. He's in it for the
Money.
Okay. Well, anyways. I like when Jake laughs like that. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I like to laugh.
Listen, the trip was full of more stuff. We'll probably touch on more stuff in the
Yeah,
coming
we
weeks,
have
but
more.
we've kind of that was based the highlights, you know.
Yeah, it was a lot.
We do want you to check out all of our coverage on
Mm-hmm.
youtube.com/yeshavesome. We have a bunch of videos up there. Instagram
At YHS Podcast.
and Twitter. And we haven't even told the story. Did we talk? I think we did talk about the last episode when you were accosted by those costumed characters.
Yeah,
in Times
we
Square.
kind of briefly covered it.
Yeah, you got to be
Which
careful.
Be careful.
which I realized I accidentally caught on video.
Yeah, we've got to post all of that. There's so
Yeah.
much.
We have a lot
coming.
of video footage
Yeah.
we need to go through and put a video together.
100%.
Yep. But yeah, it was great. It was a great trip. It was a great way to kick off the year. We got some more fun stuff coming up. Hey, schedule of events, let everybody know. We are going to be down at MegaCon in where is it? In Orlando?
I'm like taking notes right now. And
Orlando,
schedule.
In April. So if you're in the Orlando area and you're going to be going to MegaCon, probably that Saturday, there's a lot of great guests, including Christina Ricci, Alicia Silverstone, a lot of people from It. All those hobbits are going to be there. It's going to be wild. Come say hi. Come hang out with us at MegaCon. And we're just going for fun. We're not going in any kind of official capacity, but it's always a good con. It's a good time down there.
Dude, we're always official.
And then later on in the year, we are going to obviously be at Dragon Con. We are going to be at San Diego Comic Con in San Diego is where they have that. I told my dad, I was like, we're going to San Diego Comic Con. Oh, where do they have that? Des Moines, Iowa.
Do they ever have that here in Atlanta? I get that question.
It's in Ohio with the new Ghostbusters Afterlife.
It's cool.
So we're going to be at San Diego Comic Con. And probably more things as they come up. We'll let everybody know. We should start putting up maybe like a schedule of events. I think we need should.
Dude, website.
Wait a minute.
Newsletter.
No.
Is there a website?
We need tour shirts.
Yes, but also a newsletter.
My God,
no, we need to fuck the newsletter. Fuck everything. Fuck
That's how
website.
we let people know our schedule.
You have to buy a shirt.
As somebody who works.
Oh yeah, I want a tour shirt.
As somebody who works for the largest email marketing company in the world, what I'm saying is, we'll do a newsletter.
Yeah.
People are like, what? You do what?
Are you allowed to talk about that?
Probably. It says it on my Facebook where I work.
Yeah. There was a time where you wouldn't be, but it's okay now.
But what do you do there?
Well, that's probably for a really boring bonus episode.
He harvests emails.
I harvest organs.
What does that mean?
Puts them through a processor.
Nothing you just said is real.
Yeah. You go through the email fields. You bring back sackfuls.
The email. It's like Children of the Corn with email.
I don't know what you do, but
maybe I do like the idea.
It.
We're gonna do a tour shirt. We have to. That would be cool. YHS Live 2020, and I don't know. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up, everybody. We got a Bill and Ted trailer at some point. People are requesting the trailer song to come back. I saw that in group therapy. So you just never know. Maybe we'll
do a little musical.
And that's all I got. Anything else from you guys?
Nah, dude. I want to see that trailer.
I'm ready for the Bill and Ted trailer.
Yeah.
I was wearing my Bill and
Gotta
Ted
be soon.
Bogus Journey shirt from Mondo yesterday. And
it's a good shirt.
Yeah, it's great. It's very comfortable. And public service announcement. I guess we can end on this note. When purchasing the Plasma Series Neutrona Wand from Hasbro, keep in mind that just because it plays video game noises, just because there's boson darts and other things, let's call those Easter eggs. Let's not read too much into the stuff. I saw a lot of discussion of, does that mean the game's canon? Does that mean this? Does that mean... Let's just let it be a thing that exists.
Yeah, just like be thankful that it's in there and just know that you don't have to read so much into fucking everything.
It's just a toy.
It's a fucking toy.
At the end of the day, it's just a toy. And whether or not...
movie, it's not a script.
When we walk into Ghostbusters Afterlife, if the only thing on your mind is whether or not the video game is canon or not, you're probably going to have a different experience than I am. Because I don't know if it's canon or not. I kind of don't care. I just want to see Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, McKenna Grace and Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon.
And Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, yeah, Finn Wolfhard. I just kind of put that out. I feel like we've got some, in the community, people know us. People see us standing at the conventions. They come up like, whoa, this guy looks like Dan Aykroyd. They say that. No, in all seriousness, I think like it's a really cool feature on the wand, but I saw a lot of people talking about what does this mean? And like, you're focusing on the wrong part of the story.
Yeah. Coming from three people who over speculated about Answer the Call so hard, it's just not worth it. Don't do it.
Yeah. You're just going to get your hopes up, or it's just pointless. Just like look forward to the movie, and it's probably not canon.
Yeah. That's all we're
Who cares?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Thanks for listening, guys.
But it might
There's a snail in the desert.
But also, it might be canon.
It might be.
I hope it is.
We don't know.
It
not
better
out
be.
yet. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Well, listen, for Abigail Gardner, Jacob Walsh, my name's Craig Goldberg. And for the cast of Jagged Little Pill.
Yes.
God damn it. What
Kicking
a show.
so much ass.
Yeah. Go see that
Here's
shit.
the worst part. I can't listen to the soundtrack without crying because it's seriously the most emotional thing I've ever heard. And I love it and want to enjoy it, but it's like hard for me to get through it.
What's your favorite track on the track song?
Probably Mary Jane.
That's good. That's a good version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It really gets me.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see everybody next week. We'll be back on our normal schedule. Thank you so much for tuning in to YHS. I call this YHS Story Time. We tell some good stories.
One hand in my podcast.
Wait, can we start an Atlantis podcast and call it that?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yes.
I
got
that.
one
hand in my podcast, and the other one's giving a shh.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I did George Costanza. I can't. I don't want to fuck it up.
You are, though.
It's too perfect.
You're still going.
I did George. George is out. I'm out. T-Bone's out.